Have you noticed that the prices for things have gone up, and up recently? We're going to go ahead and take a look at how much you can expect to pay for fashions. Now, we're going to compare those prices with what you would pay in Taiwan and what we pay here in Canada. So, some of the brands that I'm going to show you are Under Armour, Vans, Nike, H&M, and Roots. Let's get shopping. Okay, so many of you are familiar with outlet malls. You have them there in Taiwan. There are a few, and you can save money by shopping there. They're not too bad in Taiwan. However, I think that they're better here. Let me go ahead and show you what we mean by taking you to Calgary's largest outlet mall. It's called Cross Iron Mills. Oh, I forgot to mention tax. The prices that you see here aren't always what you have to pay. Unlike Taiwan, where you pay what you see on the price tag, here it's not like that. Taxes aren't included in North America. In the US and Canada, it's always extra for when you buy something, okay? So you'll see something for maybe $10. When you go to pay for it, it might be $11 or $12 because of tax. Now, the sales tax across Canada is actually fairly high. However, here where I am in Alberta, it's actually the lowest of all the provinces in Canada. So that makes this a really good destination for shopping. Some of Canada's largest malls are here in Alberta. Okay, let's go ahead and get started at Under Armour. We were looking at athletic gear. When we walked into the store, we noticed these women's leggings. They were on sale there for $65 Canadian. But we noticed that there was a red dot on the tag. So we asked the salesperson for help. They explained that the red dot meant that that item was 50% off, as were many other things in the store. So after we take the 50% off, but we do add tax, remember the tax, that comes to a total of $34.13 Canadian, or $26.84 US, or a total of $785 NT. Now, if you were to buy that same thing from Taiwan, we found this item here. It's the same pair of leggings just sold in Taiwan. It's 2,480 NT dollars. That's the equivalent of $107.75 Canadian, or $84.72 US. See what we're talking about? Next, let's go on and take a look at these shirts. Now, they had a special deal on the t-shirts here, where you buy one t-shirt, you get the other one for 80% off. That's an amazing deal. So, the price of two t-shirts, including the tax, would be $34.02 Canadian, or $26.67 US, or $781 NT. Now, if you were to get this from Taiwan, you could expect to pay up to $1,080 NT. That's the equivalent of $46.92 Canadian, or $36.89 US. Now remember, that's for one shirt. All right, next, let's go next door, actually, and check out the Vans. Vans are some of my favorite shoes. I used to buy them all the time in Taiwan. So I know a few things about the prices over there. Let's take a look at what we have here. This pair is only $49.97, which is a good price. But it gets even better because if you buy one pair of the sale item shoes at this store, they will give you 50% off the next pair of shoes too. So by the time you add up two pairs of shoes, you will end up paying about $78.71 Canadian. That's $61.67 US, or $1,806 NT. Now, Vans vary in prices all over Taiwan, so the best that I could kind of figure was ABC Mart. That's where I used to go to buy my Vans. I like their shoes, so this is where we picked the price from. I went to the lowest of the prices that I could find, $1,190 for shoes that are essentially the same as what I saw in the Canadian store. All right, so 1,190 NT is about 5170 Canadian, and about $40.65 US. Now remember, again, one pair of shoes. So when you compare that for the 1,806 NT dollars, you get 2 pairs of shoes. So it's really a great deal here. Okay, next we're going to take a look at some Nikes. Now, buying Nike shoes is kind of tricky because they change their products from country to country. So it can be difficult to kind of find what you're looking for. Now, what I was able to find for you is something that I know Taiwan students really like. Those are Nike slides. If you'd like to buy them in Canada, they're going to cost you $30 Canadian or $23.50 US. That's 688 NT. If you were to buy those same slides in Taiwan, they're suggested here for 1,000 NT or $43.59 Canadian or about $34 American. If you think they're too much, night market. Okay, so far we've seen some pretty good deals, right? I should remind you that you still have to be a careful shopper, even in the outlet malls here, as you're about to see. Plus, stick around because the best bargains still are to come. Next, we're going to be going to H&M. They are everywhere. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they have here in Canada. First, I want to show you a long fit t-shirt. It will cost you about $13.64 after tax. That's about $10.73 US or about $314 NT. Now, if you were to buy that same thing in Taiwan, surprise, you're going to do better. The price in Taiwan is 299 NT dollars or about $13.03 Canadian or $10.21 American. So again, be careful when you're shopping at outlet stores. You may be better off where you are. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is something they called mom shorts. If you were to buy those here in Calgary, after tax, you would be paying $36.74 or about $28.89 US. That works out to be about 845 NT. Now, if you were to buy those in Taiwan, guess what you'd pay? 699 NT, or about $30.37 Canadian, or $23.88 US. Sometimes shopping at home might be better. All right, we've saved the best for last. Very popular in Taiwan and here in Canada alike is Roots. Okay, let's get some t-shirts going. First of all, you would be paying about $35.70 for this t-shirt. That's about $27.98 US, or about 820 NT. If you were to buy that same t-shirt in Taiwan, that is about $64.50 Canadian, or about $50.55 US. Take a look at another one. This shirt is also $35.70 Canadian. So that's again $27.98 US and 820 NT. The buy it price in Taiwan is 1,580 NT. It's even more expensive. So that's going to be about $68.87 Canadian and $53.96 US. So about everything that we saw in the Roots store was roughly half of what you would pay in Taiwan. So when you visit, you don't want to miss shopping at Roots. It's one of the best deals that you can get. Okay, there you have it, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've shown you the prices of some things and how you can save quite a bit of money in Canada. Also, how you do have to be careful while shopping and how to get the best bargains at the outlet mall in Calgary. I hope you had a great time. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.